You're on.
Am I on? Okay. Well, we are waiting on Mr. Ray Jones, who is to come from Pike County. I don't know if he's driving or flying in, so I don't know. No one called us to go to the airport and pick him up. He is a pilot. But anyway, we're going to get started here, and we'll just work through it the best we can. You know, things do happen. We'll wait for our superintendent. He's here. We're just so glad that you're here today, and we have put a lot of work and effort into this, and we want you to have an enjoyable afternoon. Everything important starts with a dream and a vision. With that comes determination and the realization that belief with faith will bring reality. This high school building is an example of teamwork, hard work, and support locally and from our state legislators. We have been excited and anxiously waiting for this opportunity to share our stories, our testimonials, and to acknowledge you, the citizens and supporters of these projects. We've tried to organize the informational part of the program in chronological order, starting in 2013. Let's begin. High school students, Mr. Eric Collins will give the invocation, followed by the pledge to the flag of the United States of America, led by Ms. Gina Evans, and Mr. Logan Cantrell will perform the song, Together We Are One, by Delta Goodrun. Mr. Collins, you may begin.
Please bow your head. Lord, I want to thank you for allowing us all to gather here safely today. I also want to thank you for these great facilities that are being used to educate the future of this community. Lastly, I want to thank you for all the amazing students and members of this community that showed up today. And as we move forward today, as tours are given, please continue to watch over us and watch over us as we travel home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here we are, sharing our lives. We've made it through the good and bad times, and still we stand with hope in our hearts. No matter what, we will play our part. And now we've come so far, one chance to touch a star, go higher and higher. Find your guiding inspiration in a place where dreams are made with a lifetime's preparation. There's no time to be afraid. Put our differences behind us while we shine like the sun. See what we've all become. Together we are one. Deep inside your heart and your soul, you've worked so hard to reach your goal. With every step, with every breath, you gave it all till there was nothing left. Seek out the strength to win, no thoughts of giving in. Go higher and higher. Find your guiding inspiration in a place where dreams are made nation. There's no time to be afraid. Put our differences behind us while we shine like the sun. See what we've all become. Together we are one.
Thank you, students. Aren't we proud of our students? Another round of applause. Each one is so talented. Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Jenna, and thank you, Logan. And we appreciate doing this for us on a Sunday afternoon. And the words to that song is so true for those of us who work through the problems and the issues, getting this building to where it is today. But folks, was it not worth it? It was worth everything that we put forth, and we appreciate that, and of course, local support from you folks that are sitting here in the auditorium today. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you. We're going to call on you folks again sometime. The welcome will be presented by Superintendent Hamilton, with introductions of guests, and speakers and presenters will be introduced as we move through the program. Mr. Hamilton.
Good Sunday afternoon, everyone. I'm loud as it is. Again, I just want to recognize our students. We have the best students. Who did the pledge, the prayer, and our singer. I also want to recognize our tour guides in the back. Everybody turn around and wave at our great students who's going to do that. I want to start out with reading our vision and mission, because I think that says a lot about our community and how we came together to make this dream a reality. Our mission is a united community guiding all students to become responsible, productive members of a changing world. The one thing I want to highlight there is the word united. We had to unite together and pull together to make this happen. And it all started with the nickel that Miss Barnett will tell some jokes about, and we'll all remember how that was. But we appreciate that. And then our vision, of course, is guiding children and inspiring futures. And there's nothing more than walking in this building and seeing what they come to versus what we had. That's inspiring. That inspires them to work hard, know that we are preparing them for life after they leave our doors, and that's very important, that we provide that type of environment for our students, and that starts with the building. I want to recognize our current Board of Education. At this time, please stand or wave when I call your name. Vice Chair, Ms. Esther Kane. I want to acknowledge Mr. Klinger. He's at home with 2 sick children and sends his apologies for not being here. Mr. Roger Finch, Mr. Ricky Pennington, and Chairman Ms. Mary Alice Oldfield. And then a special guest. I've struggled with this on who to announce and all that. So I believe everyone in this building is special. So I want everyone to stand and let's acknowledge everyone in this dedication to our community. Thank you all. Again, united we can make things happen, and that's exactly what this story is, a united way to making a dream come true. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. We are honored to have our former superintendent, Mrs. Deatra Barnett, to bring us insight in relating to beginnings, a new high school complex. Mrs. Barnett.
Thank you. When I began as superintendent of the Morgan County School District in 2009, one of the first things that I was asked was about the potential for a new Morgan County High School. A district facilities needs assessment showed that most of the then current high schools major operating systems was outdated or inadequate to meet the educational needs of our students, and the cost of trying to bring them up to code or to make them adequate wasn't feasible, and it would actually cost more than building a new high school. At that time, our bonding potential was not adequate for the cost of constructing a new facility, and the only way we could accomplish that goal and dream was through the help of the state legislature through the School Facilities Construction Commission, better known as the SFCC, Unmet Needs Funds, which was quite a long and arduous process, but one that the board took on as with one goal: to not stop until we had a new high school worthy of the students, staff, and the community of Morgan County, Kentucky. One that we could all be proud of, and one that would house the best staff who would offer the best educational opportunities to the best students anywhere in the state. To accomplish this rather extraordinary feat, the local Board of Education had to first levy the additional nickel tax that Dr. Hamilton referenced. That was a very long, difficult tax and tax proposal, but we got through that, and I'm proud to say that our community supported this process, and when it was laid out and spelled out and shown at our public meeting, there was not one person that spoke against paying more money out of pocket in order to support a new high school for the students of this county. And I think that speaks volumes. And after that happened, the next step was seeking support through the legislative process, and thanks to the unwavering support of our state representative, Mr. Ray Jones, we were approved for up to $25 million toward the construction of this beautiful, state-of-the-art new facility, which we could not be prouder of, as it sits on this beautiful campus and will serve the students, staff, and community of Morgan County for many, many years in the future. Thanks must be expressed to all of the local school board members for having the dream and the big picture of what it would take to make everything come together to create this entire campus. To the central office staff for their leadership and their myriad of areas of expertise for working diligently to make that dream and vision a reality. To the principal of the old high school and the new. To the transportation staff, maintenance staff, the district custodians, to the Morgan County High School and the area technology school faculty and staff, to the students, to the parents, and to the community for their roles, for the roles you all played in the long, hectic, seemingly never-ending process. The amount of work that was done is unknown by most and immeasurable, but the evidence of it is simply amazing. Your patience and perseverance, your dedication and determination, your desire to do whatever necessary, from planning to paperwork, to backbreaking manual labor, to countless, endless meetings, and your long after 1 o'clock in the morning meetings, yes, and your willingness to put your money and your mouth where your heart was made this all possible. This school and campus was truly a labor of love, and it stands as a symbol of faith and hope for the future of Morgan County. And I am so thankful and humbled to have been able to play one small part in that. Thank you.
She is so kind, and that was so beautifully delivered. But I know in the back of her mind, she was thinking, I have the 5 craziest board members I've ever had. Because we were saying, we're gonna do it, we want to, in addition, we need the school, but we're gonna build the school. And like you said, we didn't have 1 penny, and but I appreciate those kind words. I really do. It was a dream and a vision and a determination. So thank you so much for that. We appreciate you. So Mr. Jones, his delivery was on how that he secured the funding, and when I made the appointment with him and he was coming, he just related the message that he worked very hard on getting this funding. Of course, it took the General Assembly, it took the politics of that, and that how he made that happen for us here in Morgan County. And you heard the amount. At that time, the $25 million given to one district for one building was the biggest ever given at that time. I think we deserve another one. And we appreciate all the hard work that he also did for us. So as we move along, in June of 2017, we did get confirmation that we would be getting a new high school to replace the old building. So work began on this site in 2017. Then in August of 2019, we were ready to move into this building. Not quite finished with everything, but it was good enough to go. Because we had to move in, because the old building had to come down, there had to be a new parking lot, and Mr. Darren Sparkman, who is not here, but I think is out deer hunting, he was director of buildings and grounds. Now, if you want to know where a concrete block is or where the electrical outlets are, ask him, because he was here on site with the building of this facility. Also, the ATC, he was a regular everyday visitor over there. He was also oversaw the football stadium. If you haven't had a chance to be down there at the stadium, and then the renovation of the Veterans Memorial Gymnasium. So we have been busy, have we not, in the last few years, but our facilities are some of the top in the state. And we're the envy of some, and we appreciate that. Not that we do it for name and recognition, but we do it for these people. And you know who I'm pointing to, our students and our young people who are coming up to follow them. So we appreciate it all. So our next presenter is Miss Vicki Ophel. She was principal from 2017 to 2022. And the topic of her little talk is called The Big Move. And she's going to introduce the other 2 presenters. Miss Vicki Ophel, please come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think everyone here, I have a personal relationship with several of you here, so I don't think I have to introduce myself again. But I kind of want to tell you how I came to the high school, if you don't already know. So I was on the planning committee to build the high school. Probably didn't take as active as role that I should have, because I was the elementary principal at Wrigley Elementary at the time. And although I was super excited and very proud of where we were going, I never envisioned that I would be here to lead the way. So on a hot, scorching July day in 2017, I just flown back from vacation, and they were having the groundbreaking ceremony, and I think we were right here, out here, hot as could be, muddy. I thought, I just don't think I'm going to be able to make that. You know, I mean, is anybody really going to miss me? You know, I mean, Mr. Gamble's going to be there, the board members, everybody's going to be there in attendance. So, but my heart was just tugging at me, I need to go because, I am on the committee, I need to be there. Little did I know that in less than a month, I would be the principal of the high school. So I'm very glad that I was able to attend that because that actually started the move. So in 2017, like I said, I was principal at Wrigley Elementary, another beautiful school in our district that was built with a labor of love as well. It had all the bells and whistles. We had camera systems, knew everything, toilets that flush themselves, which is a big plus at an elementary school and an even bigger plus at a high school. But so when I got the call to see if I might consider moving to Morgan County High School, I hesitated for several reasons. Number one reason is I knew what work it took to open a new school. I knew how many hours, how many days you'd have to put in, and I really prayed about it. And I feel like that God was calling me to go. And so I'm very glad that I did, because I'm so glad I did, because it was 5 of the best years of my life. And I'm not saying this, I'm not saying like where it came from, to say, oh, look what I've done, or anything like that. But the reason I'm saying this is because when I walked into the high school on August 10th of 2017, I was shocked to see that everyone was okay with how the building was. I mean, everyone accepted that we may not have rooms with air conditioning. We had plumbing that barely worked. We had several leaks. We had trash cans everywhere. We even had a few snakes to fall out of the ceiling in Mrs. Lykin's room. And I realized that everybody was okay with it because that's all they had ever known. But what I knew and what they didn't know is what a difference a brand new building would do. I knew what it would change in the minds and just in the everyday thing. So it's like having a secret that you don't tell, which I'm not very good with that. But anyway, it was like I knew what they didn't know, so that gave me so much more drive. But of course, change is hard. Even when change is warranted, change is still hard, and it takes time. So I think there were several people, staff, students, everyone involved, that didn't know if it really would happen. So when I saw that we were getting that kind of culture that, maybe it will, maybe it won't, it's not going to be in my lifetime, all of that. We had these renderings from the architect of what this campus would look like when it was finally finished. So I had those laminated and framed, and I don't know if anybody here remembers, but I put them, well, staff will, on the hall, the main hall going to the cafeteria so everyone can see them. And I'd see people going by and be like, oh yeah, it'll never look like that. And I'm honest, I wondered if we could ever have anything that would look that beautiful. But I'm here to tell you that this campus, those pictures do not do justice to how beautiful this campus is. It's amazing, and so it did happen, and it is here, and they're living it every day. So fast forward to May of 2019, our last day of school, which I'm going to call it moving day and graduation day. Several of you all were here to help. Raise your hand if you helped us move from the old building to this building. Okay, so you all can relate to what it was like. Students wanted locker doors that they had decorated. Teachers, I was standing at the back door. You're not going to take any junk to that new building because you know what? We've had enough junk for a lifetime. So don't even try and sneak that out of here. But then I was going through the trash because then I'd see I got that for them for Christmas. Who threw away the pencil box that I had the present to make? So anyway, I'm taking the pencil box out, which still sits proudly in my house. I still have not figured out which staff member threw that pencil box away. But, so it was crazy. I'm telling you, if you weren't here, you don't know what it was like. But it was crazy, and it was great. But then what else was going on that day? Graduation. graduation. So we had to go from throwing it down, tearing it down, to going home and getting dressed and putting on one of the most beautiful graduation ceremonies that we've had. Fast forward to summer, we were up in the building. We worked daily alongside contractors and cleaners. We did some major praying that the school would be ready for opening day. I'm not going to say it was 100% ready, but what was ready, we were ready. We as a staff, we as students were ready. And when I look back, and when Ms. Oldfield asked me to speak today, I said, I've got to come up with a word that describes what it was like that first day. Like a word that captures what we were feeling. And the word that comes to mind is gratitude. Gratitude that people cared enough to make this happen. And when you take gratitude and you mix it with the greatest staff and the greatest student body, let me tell you, great things are going to happen. And they did. Success, culture, things changed. We saw it. So while our students and our staff were always proud to be Morgan County Cougar, they were even more so to be one in a building that, as the people that spoke before me, would rival anything in the state of Kentucky. People come here to see this building to get ideas. So we're not walking into something that's collapsing. You're walking into the best of the best. That being said, we did do a time capsule. So I want to invite everyone back here to May of 2045. Okay, so that's your personal invitation from me to 2045, and we're going to dig that thing up. And I'm going to tell you, we have so many mementos in there and memories, and we have letters that the staff wrote to themselves. We have letters that students wrote to themselves that they know are going to be opened when that is pulled out of the ground. And we have a few surprises that I think people are going to be very shocked that we put in there. So whoever can be here on that day, be here. Lastly, I'd like to say that I am very humbled, like Ms. Barnett, to have been a small part of such a great vision and a great reality. And I just want to thank you for coming out today for our dedication. And next, one of those fine staff members that's still here today is going to speak about what it looked like from a teacher's perspective. Ms. Kayla Patrick Baird.
Well, I was very excited when we first began to hear talk about a new school being built. But despite all the talk, and I knew that it was actually going to happen, I think for me the moment came when I was standing in the back hall of the old school building, and I looked out the glass building and out the glass window, and I looked, and the old bus garage was torn down. And I thought, wow, this is really happening. And when I think of the construction and the move-in process, I remember just being on a roller coaster of emotions. And of course, we were so excited to get our new building, but we were also a little sad because we were also leaving the only home that we had ever known. And then I remember our first tour of the building, and of course the school was far from being finished, but all of the teachers, we were so excited to get to go inside of it. And so we donned our hard hats and we walked inside, and I was just remember being overwhelmed by just, even though it was unfinished, just the massive size of it, and I could just imagine what it was going to look like, and it was just so impressive. And I remember I kept getting lost, and I thought, gosh, how are we ever going to find our way around in here? And then as we took our tour, they took us through the classroom that was closest to the front office. And our first impression was, wow, we have windows, because we didn't in the old building. I never had a window in my classroom, so that was very impressive. And then we had, state-of-the-art technology, and we had Cuomo boards, and we had all new desks and chairs. And then we also looked, and we were like, and they're all on wheels. How's that going to go? But it's been okay. So And then as I walked around the classroom, I kept thinking, wow, this could be your classroom. And then little did I know that when we got our room assignments, that was my classroom. And so I'd actually toured my classroom, so that was awesome. And even though we've been in our new building for almost 4 years, I'm still amazed by how beautiful it is. I'm a former academic team coach, and I've visited lots of schools for competition, and I can tell you that none of them are as pretty as our school and are as nice as what we have. I've also noticed as I walk, I feel this every morning as I walk from the parking lot into the front door of the school. I never cease to look at it, and I think, wow, this is my school, this is our school, and it always impresses me. I feel like the students feel this too, and I even think that student morale and behavior's improved since we've come into the new building, and that there's just a different culture for learning. I'm grateful for all the efforts made by everyone in our community to make this a possibility. It's certainly been a blessing, and I know it's going to continue to bless the students and staff at Morgan County High School, so thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patrick. Next up, we have Mr. Walker Keaton. He was a student here that was in the old building, so I'll let him tell you a little bit about that to come to the new building.
Thank you. When I first walked in the old building of the high school, it was a shock, because even going from the middle school to the old high school was a downgrade. You walked in, there was main windows. You had to be a man to be able to open half the doors in the building. Half of them didn't lock. And we went from having block walls like most schools would have in the middle school to sheet metal. So never did I know I could walk through the hallway of a high school and stick a magnet on the wall. We didn't have windows unless you were going down back hall. And most of the outside doors didn't lock. So what bothered most kids, I feel like, in the old high school was safety. When we went in the old high school, we had our resource officer that made us feel the safest, thanks to our sheriff like Greg Motley. And that made us feel safer, but there wasn't cameras to watch kids do mischievous things in the back hallways or other things. Half the locker doors didn't shut, so you had to keep up with all your stuff with you to make sure it didn't get stolen. And then the other thing is the bathrooms. There were like 2 stalls in the boys' bathrooms, I think, that actually worked. And it was just wild going down the halls and having leaks, as Miss Oldfield said, and snakes falling out of the ceiling. And it was just odd how we went from having such little in a high school as far as desks. They still had the old-fashioned, I'm sure Miss Oldfield remembers it when she was in school, the old-fashioned TVs on the carts they pushed into the room, and the children would get so excited when they seen those. They still had those that they push in, and I'm like, my mama had that 30 years ago, and I wasn't even alive. And I say you're close. She's aged well. And you go from that to walking into the new building to where it's block walls, all the doors locked, our corridors locked down for each wing, making us children feel safer. I forget how many cameras there are in this building, but it is ungodly. And you just feel so much safer in the new high school than you did the old one. And we have Mr. Brian Evans over here that makes us feel even safer. He's here every day to stay behind us and make sure we're safe and everything. But we can't forget about the man that stands behind them all, is Mr. Greg Motley. Let's give him a big round of applause. But also in the old high school, there was really nowhere to go if you wanted to study. You had the big cafeteria and the little library. And Miss Jenny Evans ran it. And I believe she's probably proud of her major upgrade too, to her new library. And to the new high school, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have learning centers and study corridors. And I feel like those have touched many children that just want to study one-on-one with themselves, and they have somewhere to do that. But there's one thing I want to say before I step off here. I'll never forget the day in the old high school, we had a 70s day. Miss Oldfield comes coasting down Middle Hall, the big hallway, on a set of roller skates. And I thought, in a minute, she's going to catch one of these puddles from a leap, and her imprint is going to be on this metal wall, and we're going to have something to look back on every day. And then next thing I know, I'm walking through the hall of the new high school, and she's on roller skates again. And I'm thinking, there's not going to be a water puddle, but if she makes a mistake, that brick wall is going to hurt. But let's give one more big round of applause to all our state legislators and our staff members and our teachers and our board members that made this dream come true.
Thank you all so much. Nothing like personal testimonials. Also, we're going to hear from Ms. Emma Lansall, Morgan County High School student and school board representative, and she will share thoughts about the facility. Emma?
I wrote a little speech for this, but I'm probably going to sway off of my words a little bit. I want to start by saying that I'd never seen the old high school. Even to this day, I have no idea what it looks like or what the inside of it looked like at all. I come from a totally different county, but from the schools that I have seen, there is nothing out there like this one. She introduced me, I'm the student representative for Morgan County. And today I wanted to talk and serve as the voice of the Morgan County High School student body and highlight the incredible benefits that this school's reconstruction has provided us. I'd like to start by expressing mine and my peers' gratitude for the privilege we have in attending this incredible school. The learning environment we have been given has granted us with countless opportunities, big and small. The role of a school's infrastructure plays a huge part in a student's education, and it is incredibly vital. It is so much more than a simple aesthetic. A school in good condition makes for a comfortable environment, and it allows students to focus and to feel secure, to feel safe. The rebuilt classrooms of Morgan County High School provide not only students, but educators and administrators with the benefits of reliable learning conditions. These conditions have shown to improve not only academic performance, but attendance and morality among students as well. Our school is incredible, without a doubt. The rooms held inside this building are dedicated to building our futures. They are rooms that promote talent, hobby, and lifelong skills. Our labs, our auditorium, and the many technology-based classrooms will provide students with the experience they need to decide what their next steps will be once they leave these hallways. At the end of the day, at the end of the year, and at the end of the stage, students of Morgan County High School will have had the liberty to have attended an incredibly built school with all of the resources for success at the tips of their fingers. For that, we are grateful. On behalf of all of our students, I thank you.
Thank you also for your kind words and inspirational words. Thank you. Another project was the renovation of the Area Technology Center, as you well know, and this project was well worth the investment also. The building does belong to the school district, so we want to clarify that. And at this time, Mr. Gary Harper, principal, will deliver his talk, and then he'll introduce the next speaker.
Thank you all for being here, and I just want to, first off, I want to say that I'm blessed to have the facilities with the board and the district staff has provided, and not only the facilities, but the staff, the working relationships between the ATC and the high school and the district staff. They've been phenomenal role the people here has. And to me, that actually means more than the facilities as those working relationships, but I do appreciate the facilities. I remember back after I first took the principal's job here, I was contacted and said, we're going to go look at some schools. Would you like to go with us? And I jumped at the chance. And we looked at 3, maybe 4 different schools that's in our system. And there's actually 50 schools in our system right now. And I come away from every one of them just thinking, man, if we could just get half of what this is, we're going to have it made. But we didn't get half. We exceeded, in my opinion, every school that we went and looked at. Our renovation turned out better than what I had seen. So I want to thank you, board members and district personnel, for that, because I'm really, really pleased. Some things that you all may not know, we have 400 students that participate on a daily schedule at the ATC. And some of those students take 3 and 4 classes. About 300 of them from Morgan County High School here. We've got a dozen or so that comes over from NFE, and then I got a satellite teacher in Moorhead that teaches about 100 students at the Brown County High School. So we are broad. Lost my train of thought here. We got programs. Our programs are nursing, auto tech, welding, auto body, computer-aided drafting, information technology, and health sciences. I know I'll leave one out, but like I said, I'm blessed. I think I've got the best teachers in the world at any ATC. I've got the best people around me than anywhere. And I want to introduce our next speaker. I've known him for a lot of years. Back in the early 2000s, we went to curriculum meetings together. And today he's the director of, he's got a long title here, Division of Technical Schools and Continuous Improvement in the Office of Career and Technical Education. He's ultimately responsible for the other 49 schools also. He's got 50 schools he's responsible for, plus a whole lot more, and he's seen a lot of them. And he's our director, Mr. Larry Garrity.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. This is a tough act to follow. You have a fabulous facility. I'm not from this area. I'm from Western Kentucky, but I jumped at the opportunity to come here upon the invitation. I'm thrilled to be here and to see the support of your district, your Board of Education, your leadership, and so just very excited for your facility, for your high school facility, for your area technology center. So I want to thank the Morgan County Board of Education and the district leadership team for your vision and support your career and technical education and the high school, and the impact this facility will have on students, families, and workforce development in this region in the future. So thank you. This is an outstanding facility that highlights your commitment to this community. As Mr. Harper said, you have several programs in the Area Technology Center that are high demand, high wage, that train students. So students have opportunities to be trained in the following technical programs. As Mr. Harper mentioned, health sciences, automotive technology, welding technology, collision repair, computer science, pre-engineering. Students have an opportunity to complete a career pathway while they're in high school, to earn industry-recognized certifications in high school, and to earn dual college credit before they graduate from high school. So that's a great opportunity for these students. There are currently 224 students that are enrolled in dual college credit at this ATC. That is excellent. So I'm going to give a big applause to the leadership for that. So thank you to ATC Principal Kerry Harper for his leadership and collaboration with Morgan County Schools and the community. Thank you again to the Board of Education for your vision, and to the leadership team, thank you so much. It's exciting to be here. When I walked in the building, I feel like I was walking into a college campus. We should be very, very proud. I see our area technology centers and our schools around the state. and you should be very proud of what you have and the vision that your community, your leadership has. So thank you so much.
Thank you for those complimentary words. We'll just do a really quick certificate presentation, and we just want to draw attention to Mrs. Barnett. Alrighty. Mr. Addison Witt. Come on, you can go that way. And just Mr. Lemaster. Mr. Witt was the chief financial officer during, well, Mrs. Barnett can really tell the stories, but he was so instrumental in helping us with the finances, handling the funds, what we needed, and he deserves a really loud thank you, Mr. Witt. He is now retired, and we know he's enjoying that also, and we do miss you, even though we have a good one that you trained and left for us, okay? And then we have Mr. Sparkman is not here, but we do want him to receive a certificate also because of his hard work on all of this campus and more. And of course, he takes care of our maintenance and all that goes with that. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Hamilton will present the certificates. Mrs. Deidre Barnett for her work and all of this. Mr. Larry Garrity for his support for ICC. Miss Victoria Ophel. Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. And others, all of you deserve so much. At this time, we will have remarks, and Mrs. Pelfrey will give you some information about the tours, and you are in for some good stuff.
Good afternoon. The first time I stepped inside this building after its completion was actually as a parent. And I was here for a back to school event for my daughter when she was a freshman. And I was absolutely in awe of the opportunity that my children had to attend school here. I knew that they would receive an amazing education here in this facility. I didn't go to high school here. I went to a school nearby, very similar to the school that you've heard described here today. Definitely did not meet the needs, of course, of our students when we expect them to excel. But the opportunity to attend school here for 7 hours a day in a building like this makes me truly proud to be raising my children here in Morgan County. So fast forward to a few months later, and I heard that Miss Oldfield had plans to retire. And I was certain, and my family can probably attest to this too, that my days as a principal had come to an end. But once I heard that announcement, I knew immediately that it would be a true honor to be a part of this school, the chance to work in this building, and to be around the students in Morgan County and to educate the students of Morgan County again. So my first day on the job, again, I was once again in awe of this building. And honestly, I thought, how in the world am I going to find my way around here? Now every day I come to work thankful to lead in this building and to educate future leaders in this building. And the citizens of Morgan County should be truly proud of the opportunities that you've given our students to learn in the state-of-the-art facility. Our students are truly the very best. They deserve the very best, and that's what they've been given here. As I previously said, this building is beautiful yet massive, and if you're like I was, you can easily get lost in it. So we're providing tours led by our experts, our students. In a few moments, you'll be able to exit the auditorium to our practice gym, where our students will be waiting to showcase the building. You'll find 7 tour groups, so just choose one tour group to go with, and you'll have the chance to visit some very special places in the building, such as the art and music rooms, the cafeteria next door, the school resource officer's office, and the common areas located throughout the building where students work and learn together. Then at the end of our tour of the main building, our students will escort you to join Mr. Gary Harper at the Area Technology Center. On your way out, if you've not had a chance to see our Cougars in action at the Veterans Memorial Gym, the doors will be unlocked for you to visit there as well. Thank you all so much for coming today and for your continued support of the students of Morgan County.